Hey y'all, how are you doing? I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. It's me, Kim, and I'm back for another patrons only video. It's been a few days and I wanted to sit down, but also I just wanted to vent. Obviously, this is not my home. I am in a hotel room right now, and it's a, sorry, I had to make sure the microphone, and it's a pretty nice hotel room, pretty echoey, lots of space, awesome. But I'm at a speaking gig. Oh, actually, before we get into the drag, let's start positive. I love the Backstreet Boys, you guys. I'm obsessed with the Backstreet Boys. Ever since I went to that concert 3 weeks ago, I cannot stop listening to them. I cannot stop watching interviews. I cannot stop watching YouTube videos of performances. I am a 30-year-old new BSB stan. Shout out to y'all. I'm team BSB. My favorite is AJ. He was even my favorite when I was a kid. Second favorite is Nick. Underrated. Not the best dancer, but really strong vocals. I like Kevin, even though Kevin's probably a conservative. Howie is Howie. He had really good hair circa 2000. That long straight hair. That was a look. And Brian is obviously my favorite because he is a super passionate Trump supporter. And he performs at Liberty University and stuff. So it's a no for me. But he does have really good vocals. Well, he used to. Right now, struggles. So anyways, that was my moment of levity. Everybody comment your favorite member of the Backstreet Boys below. NSYNC is out of here. Out of here. They're done. It's over. BSB is where it's at. I wish I could convince myself to listen to something other than them. I cannot. All right, so it's time for me to rant. So I'm at this speaking engagement. I'm in DeKalb, Illinois, and I have to say this is the worst speaking engagement I've ever had, ever in life. And I usually have really good experiences, particularly because when I work with Black women, they make an effort to show care and to have things in order, and I'm so dismayed by how poorly this has gone. Obviously, this is a privileged person problem. Obviously, I'm very lucky to do this. However, y'all know, I just like to be at home, okay? If I'm not at a concert, if I'm not hanging out with my nieces, I just like to lay up in my home. I don't need checks like that. Sorry, I don't. Okay. Not for that. It's not worth the hassle to me. It's just not. So I knew things were a little disheveled in the organizing because there would be lots of lapses in communication. So somebody reached out to me about this, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and then we go 4 months, and then we go another 4 months, and then it's like, ooh, right? That's not normal. That's not typical. And then I remember thinking, and also let me just say this. A part of that was my fault, right? I wasn't as good about follow-ups as I should have been. So we were both lapsing, okay? Going back and forth, lapses. But then I remember one of the organizers of the event telling me a tentative date for when this event would be. And I just remember thinking at the end of the summer, nothing has been ironed down. That's, maybe they're not doing the event. It's whatever, Okay. So then in mid to late August, it's September 13th right now. Probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago, somebody said, send us your speaking contract. Not a big deal. Drop a speaking contract. It's fine. So it's a pretty basic speaking contract. I probably am not going to tell you how much I got paid. Well, I don't know. It's not a really big deal. I'm trying to be as transparent about money as possible. I agreed on a rate of $4,000 to speak. $4,000 is not a whole bunch of money. It's not. It's actually less than I should have charged. And it's actually less than I've charged in the past. But I agreed on that rate because initially they offered $2,000. No, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. It's not worth it for me. And And then they said, okay, well, we can do 4,000. We're stretching the budget, but can you do a talk and sit on a panel? Fine. Okay, I'm pretty good at panels and I'm pretty good at talks. Fine. And then, it's like a woman of color summit, and by woman of color, they mean black women, because all the women there were black. And it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to be around black women. Okay, it's a great job. So I agreed to it, drew up the contract, we agreed on it, everybody signed. And I realized after that we hadn't agreed on the other stuff, and this is my fault. I'm taking the blame, right? That in that contract, there was no mention of being who would cover travel and who would cover lodging and other incidentals. My fault, totally. But generally that stuff is covered. And generally it's understood that that's outside of the budget. There's no such thing as an all-inclusive fee. For some people it is a thing. I've never operated that way. So then I signed the contract. I think I signed it on August 20th, and I don't know when, but a few days later, whoever is in charge of organizing this, they signed. So now we're at the end of August for an event that is September 13th. Now, I know, because I've done this quite a few times, I probably do 6 or 7 speaking engagements a year for the past 5 years. I know that is a very tight turnaround. And I know that in my contract, it says that my fee is payable after services are rendered. Services are rendered after I give the talk, appear on the panel. That's what we've agreed on, right? And that's what's stated in the contract. So I'm already thinking, nobody has asked me for payment information. Nobody's asked me for a W-9. Sometimes when you're working with universities, they have their own payment processing systems that you have to fill out their own paperwork, because universities, there's lots of bureaucracy and whatever. And I went ahead and sent one of the organizers my W-9, like, you're gonna need this. In my head thinking, y'all need to read the contract. My fee is payable. It needs to be remitted after my services have been rendered. But I think, okay, Kim, look, give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, right? Maybe it's different for them. Maybe somebody's just going to be able to write it, So I'm trying not to think about that too hard. Then we get into the back and forth about transportation. One of the organizers says, oh, we can't pay for transportation. Very unusual. Super unusual. But you know what I said? I said, okay, you've made it clear to me, we've spoken on the phone, you've made it clear to me that you want to do a good thing for the women on your campus, in your community. And I don't want to get in the way of that by being greedy. You know what I'm saying? If it was like a bigger university or what, but I do think it is appropriate for you to adjust your fee. I mean, come on. Who needs $4,000 to speak for an hour? That's a lot of money. So, there's a lot of people out here getting a lot more money than that. And I personally could get twice that. But it's still a lot of money. So, I said, okay, Kim. So now your $4,000 fee will go down to, I don't know, $3,600. Not a huge deal. And I said to her, and she says in the email, oh, we're not going to be able to pay for travel. And I said in an email, I said, you know what? It's not a big deal as long as my check is rendered by the time I leave on 9/15, as stated in my contract. I literally said that in the email. I said, you know what? It's not a big deal that I have to pay for the flight. Okay, whatever. As long as that check is in my hand before I get on my flight back home. That's in the email. And then we go back and forth. And then one of the things is this campus is an hour out from the airport. Now, what traditionally happens is when you're a speaker, an invited guest, I was the keynote speaker of this summit. When you're a speaker, somebody meets you at the airport, or they arrange for transportation. Maybe they get you a car or something. She said, oh, you can rent a car and drive. That doesn't happen. First of all, the assumption that everybody has a driver's license, that everybody can drive, that everybody wants to drive, that's erroneous, okay? I don't like to drive, okay? I do not. I have really poor vision. I actually just ordered 2 pairs of glasses from Warby Parker. And so it's actually not safe for me to drive because I don't have glasses and I don't have contacts. And I'm certainly not driving somewhere where I don't know any of the streets. Okay. So there's that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't drive day to day, but occasionally I'll drive. Without glasses, I'll say. Occasionally I will drive without glasses, but I'm not driving long distances in unfamiliar terrain with no glasses. Can't see. Just went to the optometrist. Eyes getting worse. 30 hits you hard, okay? So the assumption that everybody has the ability to drive and that there's no offer to do alternate stuff, and it's like, Not only that, right? I said, okay, I'm not driving actually. I'm going to do an Uber. And in the email back to me, she said, oh, I'll do what I can to get you reimbursed for transportation. Not, I will get you reimbursed. She said, I'll do what I can. Okay. Now, another thing that often happens when you're doing these kinds of speaking engagements is they will say, okay, well, we'll reimburse you for food and transportation and incidental stuff. Like, that's just a typical thing. And I realized that, oh, we're really nickel and diming it. We're really, okay. And I say, you know what, Kim? You're going to get, who cares? Who cares? You're going to get a big check. You've made it clear that you've made it clear that you expect a check by the time you leave. It's not a big deal. Okay. So I get my little talk together, get on the plane, go to O'Hare Airport. I am, you take an Uber an hour. An hour Uber is quite expensive to get to this campus. But, that's fine. It's not, whatever. And also, these are tax deductible things. It's whatever. So, one thing I'll give them is she said, okay, well, would you like us to book you the hotel? A couple days ago, she said this. Okay. And I said, yeah, please do that. So I get to the hotel, pretty nice, lots of space, look around, my voice is echoing, obviously, there's some surfaces for my voice to bounce off of. I get to the hotel, check-in is easy, great. I go to check my emails, and I have an email from one of the organizers of the event, the director of the center that's sponsoring this summit and my speaking engagement. And it's a long email, and I read it, and it says, this is Saturday, right? The summit is on Saturday. On Friday, after I've landed, it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I see an email just sent from the director of the Center for Gender, and she says, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get your check to you tomorrow. It'll be mailed, and it'll be 2 checks. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And not only, look, if a few days ago somebody had reached out to me and said, given me a call, reached out and said, Kim, gosh, it's been so crazy around here. We've tried so hard. We've tried so hard to get you the check. We've tried so hard. And I would be sitting in my home and I would say, okay, all right, and I would, think about it a little bit, and I would say, okay, the fact that you waited until less than 24 hours before the event to send me an email telling me that you would be breaching the contract after I had explicitly said that, okay, it's fine, I'll cover these expenses as long as you adhere to the terms of the contract. The fact that you sent me an email less than 24 hours saying, ooh, we're not gonna be able to do it, is unacceptable. And it makes me so mad because I don't wanna think the worst of people. But I do believe that they waited to send me that email after they knew that I would already be traveling, because they were worried about what I would do or say if they had told me before. There is no way that you did not know that you would not be able to render that check more than 18 or whatever hours before the event was supposed to take place. It's no way. It's maybe, but no, probably not. You waited. And then, I don't even want to go in on the event, but I understand how difficult it is to plan events. That's why I don't do it anymore. Don't like it. It's not for me. But it wasn't a whole lot going on. It wasn't. You had one keynote, some breakout sessions, 3 breakout sessions, and 1 panel. When I tell you that I was pissed off, I've never been that angry about a speaking engagement ever. Because it felt like they were trying to back me into a corner. Because you know who looks bad? First of all, I'm already here. I'm already here an hour out from Chicago. But you know who looks bad if I say, you breached the contract. I ain't showing up. Me. I'm the one who looks like a bitch. Now, if you say you care about Black women, you care about empowering, I cannot say the word empowering, always I mess it up. If you care about uplifting and celebrating Black women, then you need to be serious about Black women's money. Point blank, period. The end. Don't play with that. And doing that in a way so that I have no opportunity to say, ooh, okay, well, then you need to find somebody else. Backing me into a corner after I've already checked in, after I've already driven an hour out from O'Hare Airport, gotten my own Uber, paid for my own transportation. It is completely unacceptable. And I flipped out. And I said in that email, it is your responsibility. After you sign the contract, right? You have to adhere to the terms of the contract. Because guess what? If I sign a contract and then I say, I'm just not showing up, that's on me, right? If I sign the contract and then show up with no talk, show up late, I breached the contract. So just as it's my responsibility to show up here on time, ready, professional, prepared, lively, fun Kim, it is your responsibility before you sign the contract to ensure that you are able to adhere to the terms. And I said, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and consult my lawyer to see what the next step should be. Because I was so disgusted by that. Don't try to put people in a corner like that. Put me in a bad space. And I'm sure they thought, oh, well, it's not going to be a big deal. She's already here. No. I'm so utterly disgusted by that. I am so pissed off. So then look, this is where it helps to have great networks, right? So this is a Friday afternoon. My lawyer don't work on Fridays, okay? I already knew that he would be unavailable, the person who usually reviews my contracts. So I emailed my friend Amber. Shout out to Amber. She just graduated with a JD MBA from Harvard. And I emailed, and she's going to be an entertainment lawyer. And I texted my friend, did I say email? I texted my friend Amber, and I said, Amber, do you know any contract lawyers? Because I have a problem right now. And it's immediate, and of course I will pay for whatever time it takes. And so Amber was like, call my mom. And Amber's mom is also a Harvard educated lawyer. And I have a pretty good relationship with Amber's mom. We've been to dinners and all that kind of stuff. So I call Amber's mom and I say, this is the situation that I'm in. I don't know what to do, how to proceed, what my options are. And she said, send me the contract. I'll review it and I'll draw something up for you. And so she did. And she came up with this like amendment to the contract that would have added fees and all of that stuff. And I reviewed it. And let me just tell you, Amber's mom ain't no rinky-dink lawyer, okay? That's a $600 an hour lawyer, okay? At least, right? I am so thankful. It makes me emotional that this woman took time out of her schedule on a Friday afternoon. I'm in Central Time. She on Eastern Time. She took time out of her schedule to draw up a document for me. Man, look, your network is your net worth, okay? And we talked about it, and I looked it over, and I thought, okay, Kim, what are your options here? Now, the document, she said, so basically, she drew up this document that had penalties and all sorts of stuff, right? Because they were not able to produce the check as outlined in the contract. And by the way, I guess I'm not hurting for money, but that's not the point. It's really not. The point is if your employer tells you that payday is Friday, and you, for weeks, have said, oh, payday is Friday, right? And they agree, payday is Friday. And they told you on Thursday, oh, sorry, we're not going to be able to get you your check on Friday. You're going to be mad. So I go over the document that Amber's mom typed up, and great, lawyery, official looking. And I said, okay, Kim, they already told you they ain't got no money, and these are women of color running this. And do you want to take the money from that could possibly go to students, people who need it more than you? Because what would have had to happen was I would have said to them, well, I'm not speaking unless you sign this amendment and agree to pay these penalties and agree to pay, I think the stipulation was $100 a day for every day that the payment is late. I could have done that. But then I thought, it's not, you don't want to be that person, it's just not, you want to take money from students, people who need it? So I wrote back in an email, talked to my lawyer. This is the document that she suggested I sign. The document that she suggested that we both signed in order to move forward. But I don't want to divert funds from an organization that is doing work that serves women, in particular women of color. So what I'm going to do right now is meet my obligations for tomorrow, and you need to assure me that you are going to do everything in your power to make sure that that check gets sent. Now, I've gone back and forth about whether or not that was the right thing to do. I don't know, right? Maybe I should have doubled down and been like, I ain't doing shit unless we sign this contract and you give me $1,000 more. Okay? Find someone. But then it was just like, you're already here. You want to take these people money? You already know they ain't got no money. So what is the most ethical thing to do? I'm not primarily motivated by profit. I'm not. I'd be doing different stuff if I were. But I do care about money, okay? It's not nothing. So sent that. I was so pissed off yesterday. I was so angry because I really felt manipulated. I felt like they were intentionally manipulative. So today is Saturday. I gave the talk, sat on the panel. By the way, there's an art to being on a panel, okay? You don't need to give your life story to answer every question. Some people are really bad panelists. I like to think that I'm a very fun, pithy panelist, okay? Let's keep it short, make it a little bit funny, and move on. I hate people who are talking for 5 minutes on a panel. So I gave my talk, did the panel, come back to I stayed for lunch, talked, shook some hands, made some eye contact with people, but my energy was low. I'll be honest, my energy was low. Sorry, I had to, the low battery thing came up. My energy was low. It just wasn't as zingy as, or electric or charismatic as I would prefer to be, but you get what you pay for, and you ain't paid for shit. So, talk to the panelists, talk to some of the organizers, talk to some students, come back to the hotel. I get to the hotel, and the key is not working. I said, why is my key's not working? And go back. And also, my immediate thought was, my phone demagnetized the room key. Go down to the hotel front desk, and she says, we've only authorized for one night. But I'm still here. Okay, I was just at the event. I'm still here. Yeah, they only paid for one night. And I said, okay, well, do you need to contact them? And the manager said, and by the way, this is a hotel associated with the university. And the manager said, no, we're gonna have to, if you wanna stay in that room, we're gonna have to collect the fee from you, and you're gonna need to be reimbursed. Now, look, the good thing is, I can put down a credit card. It's not a big deal, right? There is a situation where this happens and I'm fucked. Okay? There's a situation where I need that money to pay my health insurance. There's a situation where I need that money to pay my phone bill or to pay my rent. I don't. There's a situation where they have only paid for one night and I don't have a credit card to put down to pay for another night. That's people. I've been there, okay? Thankfully, I have some stuff, but a lot of people do not. So let me just say this. I got an itinerary. I didn't know until a couple of days ago when I would be speaking. So I didn't know if the keynote was gonna be at 5 o'clock at night. I didn't know if the keynote was going to be at noon or whatever. Generally, keynotes are a little bit later. This keynote was really early in the morning, but I didn't know that until after I booked my flights, because I got the itinerary a few days ago. So they paid for one night. My flight leaves tomorrow morning, so I am paying for the second night. Nobody asked me, like, when are your flights coming in, or nobody did that. So now we have all of these out-of-pocket expenses. Now we have a breach of contract. I've never experienced something this ridiculous and disorganized and disheveled, ever. And I can fake it. I can. So I saw one of the organizers, smiled, whatever, laughed and talked to those people, smiled. I understand that planning events is stressful. So am I going to be like, oh, let me talk to you a minute and cuss you out? I don't think that would have been the most productive thing. Maybe I should have. You can let me know if maybe that's what I should have done. But I kept it cute, and came back here and then realized that they paid for one night. And what if I had wanted to stay for the rest of the day? You paid for one night. Never have I ever experienced that as the keynote speaker, ever. So anyways, this is a ridiculously privileged rant or whatever. I get it. I understand if you're rolling your eyes right now. All I'm saying is it is imperative. If you're doing work with Black women, then you need to take care of Black women. And I have made a lot of mistakes in my time. Absolutely. Made some mistakes, done things that I regret. And I get it. Stuff happens. Things fall through the cracks. I don't like the sneakiness. I just don't be wasting people's time, and don't be playing with people's money. That was my rant on that. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to my friends' moms. It's great. And I'll let this go. Look, when I was in the shower today, I was like, do you know that some people have real problems, Kim? It's okay to be upset or whatever, or be mad, but let's not overstate the magnitude of this problem. Because a few years ago, if you were waiting on a $4,000 check and they said, oh, we can't get you the check the day before, you would have been screwed. But I'm not there. Could have been. They don't know that. They don't know that. But I'm not. So I just need to keep everything in perspective. It's getting dark outside. Move on with my day. We're giving it a week. And then we will exercise the legal options after that. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm trying to be cool. But I'm not afraid to sue. I'm not afraid to get litigious, okay? It ain't cool. Anyways, I did not expect this to be a 33-minute video. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I will talk to you later. Bye.